Good day, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to present my findings. My name is Chris de Beer, and I'm a director at Qualibooks Holdings. We are library resource service providers, and we've been providing the service for the last 31 years. So this is our wheelhouse, and we love what we're doing. I'm here to share a little bit more about the benefits of digital subscription-based libraries for children, and how reading for just a few minutes a day can help develop a strong reading habit. We all know what the literacy problem in South Africa is, and by now, I think most of us are tired of seeing the same old statistics that just don't seem to be changing. We'll be talking about most of our schools still don't have proper library facilities and infrastructure. Our schools are functioning below the required norms and standards, and the vast majority of our children are still failing to read with comprehension at the grade 4 level. And I understand that that statistic has actually just gotten a little worse, which is alarming to say the least. But let's get to the importance of literacy. I'm sure all the academics out there will be familiar with the empirical research findings that, all else being equal, learners from schools with access to library book resources generally achieve higher reading scores. Children who read once a week have an advantage of approximately 5 percentage points in literacy tests over those who do not read at home. Those who read 3 times a week, up to 10%. Those who read more than that, approximately 12% percentage points ahead of their peers who do not read. Fourth grade learners can improve their results on average by 18 percentage points. I'm not going to go into the detail of that for the sake of time, but all the findings are available in the public domain and makes for some interesting reading. So why digital? As we delve deeper into the digital age, it's becoming increasingly evident that the way we learn is changing. People who are investing in digital books for their children are giving them the gift of endless knowledge at their fingertips. The world is evolving at a rapid pace, and with it, the skills that our children will need to succeed. Digital literacy is no longer a nice to have, it's a must have. Children who grow up using digital books not only become adept at navigating technology, but they also develop a deeper understanding of the interconnected world that we actually live in. These books offer added advantages of being able to update and refresh content in real time, ensuring that children are always learning the most relevant and up-to-date information. With interactive features such as videos, quizzes, games, and digital books are also offering an engaging learning experience that captivates and inspires. Investing in digital books for your child's education is not just about keeping up with the times, it's about ensuring that they have the tools they need to thrive in a digital world. A quick introduction. Our goal as Qualibooks is to help develop a reading habit by enabling after-school reading away from the restrictive traditional library environment. Not to replace it, the physical book has still got the most important role to play and is the fundamental bedrock of developing a reading habit. What we are trying to help is to practice reading after hours, as that's the best way to develop a habit, be it at home, at a friend's house, on weekends, on holidays, anywhere that you can think of outside of the school parameters. It's all about practice, but practicing with enjoyment. In doing so, we enable 24/7 unrestricted access to thousands of world-class fiction and non-fiction titles across all 11 South African languages on an easy-to-navigate platform for children to enjoy. It offers children a benefit unmatched in the sector, targeting the age groups of 3 to 15 years of age who need access to quality reading resources. This platform, Kibooks.online, is 100% homegrown. It's a South African initiative, conceived, developed, funded, managed, and owned by ourselves. So we are very proud of this product that we have made available in the public domain. Constant access to resources is the key solution to improving reading competencies, and this platform offers the solution. With Kibooks.online, each child has access to a book anywhere, anytime, and on any device. This is how we're going to turn our children into a reading generation. Currently, our platform has around 100 participating entities, which is made up from schools, foundations, book clubs, and aftercare centers. This represents less than 0.5% of the total schools market in South Africa. We reach around 60,000 children with a realistic uptake of about 20,000 active users currently making use of the platform. That's about 34% of the total reach, which is well above the global median product adoption rate at 17%. So we're very proud of that and very happy to see that statistic. Our monthly average growth is a conservative 5%. There are more than 15 million children in this age demographic in South Africa. So imagine the statistics that you'll see on the right-hand side once we reach 1%, 2%, 5%, 10 or more percent of the school's market. These figures are going to exponentially increase. To give you an example, these stats are live on the platform, and it indicates that more than 180,000 books have been read off our platform to date, which equates to, on average, 300 books per day being read by users. So that is a very exciting and stimulating statistic to be able to see. Moving on, in terms of general statistics, we've been tracking the usage of the platform since inception, which was August 2021. So it's only about 20 months that the platform has been in circulation. And you can see the slow start and then the gradual uptake here from January 2022. It peaked in May, and then a slight ebb away down to August, and then the steady decline towards December, which is expected over the holiday period. Parents, teachers, children, everybody's tired at the end of the year. So December, we don't expect much activity, but the fact is there was still reading activity, both December 2021 and 2022. Then you'll see back to school, there's a resurgence with a tremendous spike in February and March of this year, which we are very excited about. So I'm looking forward to seeing the next 3 to 6 months in activity on the platform to see what the graph is going to look like as the time progresses. So you will see in March this year, we've gone through the 30,000 mark. These stats are as at the 27th of March. More than 30,000 books have been read off our platform in the month of March alone. And that equates to, I think, about 1,100 books per day being read off the platform. Bear in mind, we've only got 100 subscribing entities. So it is really phenomenal, and we're pleased to see these stats. Moving along, part of what the platform offers is live tracking. So investors are able to monitor real-time activity on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, any period of time during the course of a subscription to see what activity has been going on. So in the month of March, from the 1st to the 27th, the stats you'll see is, as I said, 30,000 odd books that have been read to date, almost 1,800 hours of reading. You'll see first-time visitors, an important statistic for us. This indicates the number of new users that have accessed our platform for the very first time during this particular period, and then the total visits just under 29,000 to the platform. So that's the repeat visits from first time and existing users that have been on our platform prior to that. So a tremendous amount of volume, again, bearing in mind the total number of users that we've actually got access to. Browsing time is a statistic that we're going to explore and develop further because it tells a story. You'll see almost 26,000 hours of browsing on our platform. That means that when people are on, they're actually actively exploring, not necessarily reading, but they're exploring the content. And that is an important anomaly to us, because that says people are enjoying the platform. They're spending time on it to see what is actively out there. So it's a stat that we're going to be expanding on in the near future to see what sort of information we can extract, what are people browsing, and etc. So think, if you've got Netflix, for argument's sake, you will browse 10 movies and then select one to actually watch, and maybe you will add 3 or 4 to your list to watch a little bit later. The platform works on exactly the same principle. So it's very useful and resourceful to see that sort of activity. Furthermore, it breaks it down. Unfortunately, the slide cuts off, but it indicates the books that have been read the most in the month. So you will, at a snapshot, be able to see the top 10 books that have been read and the number of times the book has actually been read in this particular period. So it gives you an idea of what children are reading, and tongue-in-cheek, how to update your parents. Clearly, that's quite popular. So a lot of good on the parents, or good on the children, to upschool their parents a little bit. Then you'll see fiction versus non-fiction, what is being read, the languages that are actually being accessed. I mentioned all 11 languages are represented. The learning areas that children are enjoying. The reading programs are coming out very strong. That is your HarperCollins Big Cat series, Scholastic, amongst others, and then science and technology, life skills, life orientation, etc. These are the areas that children are exploring and enjoying. The most important statistic, in my opinion, is the one on the right-hand side, the reading days. I mentioned at the start that we want to create a reading habit, and the best way of doing that is to enable children to read after school hours, because they're not doing much in the period, or in the time slot between when the last bell rings for school and the next morning when the first bell goes. It's in that time that we need to catch the children and get them to help them to develop a reading habit. And it's clear and it's evident from the statistics that the platform is working exactly as we had designed it, that you can see after school, more than 22,000 books have been read of the 30,000, which is about 73% of all active reading is happening after school hours. So that's tremendously exciting for us. And furthermore, you can see the breakdown of the weekend, Friday through Sunday, and that equates to about 18% of all reading happening off our platform on weekends, which, you know, statistically is not something we would be able to have access to, but this is telling us a story, and it's painting a picture and telling you that things like this are needed in our schools, to actively be able to enable our children to read well beyond the traditional norm. This is going to create a reading habit. A summary of the user benefits is digital technology is developed with a child in mind. It's user-friendly, it's easy to navigate, visually stimulating, it's content-rich in terms of the selection of books. There's no limitation as to how many books a child can read per day. And children can also read the same time at the same book at the same time, which lends itself to collaborative reading. In other words, if you've got a class of 30 children, they can each go onto their individual tablets or cell phones, log on, access the same book and read it at the same time. This platform has got unrestricted access, unlike many others which are single user license and one user, one title oriented. We've done away with all of that. In terms of the ever increasing content, we keep uploading new titles to the platform on a monthly basis, and for all subscribers, all content that is added to the platform is automatically part of their package. Full spectrum of learning areas, especially non-fiction. We cater, as I mentioned, to all 11 South African languages, and it's age-appropriate content. Library resources, not textbooks. People, this is not a textbook platform. This is resource as a value add to the curriculum as such. We're very specific in terms of our wheelhouse, our knowledge in terms of our area of expertise, which is library resources, which are a value add to the curriculum as such, not the curriculum. And in terms of nurturing a culture of reading, we encourage reading for enjoyment. That's probably the most important thing. We want our kids to read and enjoy it, because if we're forcing it down their throats, it's not fun and you will not develop a habit. Do not tell the child, you've got to read for 3 hours or 2 hours before you can go out and play. You'll never get a reader. We encourage them to read 5 minutes a day in their active day. That is far more palatable than anything else. And as I said, availability, it's a 24/7 platform. It's an internet-based platform, so anytime, anywhere, and any device that's linked to the internet compatible. We promote after-school reading, including weekends, and books can be repeatedly read time and time again. The digital space continues to evolve, so we have to embrace it by incorporating it into our current reality, whilst encouraging our children to develop that healthy digital reading habit. At an investment cost of between 30 to 45 Rand per child per year, it's actually a no-brainer. Bearing in mind, unrestricted access to thousands of titles, no single user licenses apply, no lending policies apply, no fine print, no additional charges. It's what you see is what you get. The lack of access to quality reading materials as a value-adding resource to the school environment in South African schools is a critical issue that needs to and can be addressed urgently. The provision of functional library facilities in schools is essential for the development of literacy and cultural consciousness, which are important determinants of a civilized community. It is vital that we take action to ensure that all learners in South Africa have access to these resources so that they can reach their full potential and contribute meaningfully to society in future. If you take a second, take a snapshot of the screen or take out your cell phone and scan the QR code. It'll land you on the Kibooks platform itself. You'll have a look at the bottom. There's a demo login. Click on it and you'll have full access to the platform, just with restricted access to the actual content. You'll have, I think, 4 or 5 or 6 pages that you can page through, but it'll give you a very good idea of how the platform works and the vast array of, as I said, around 5,000 titles currently on the platform. So you can search in the traditional manner, in the search bar, type in keywords and it'll automatically filter through, or you can scroll through the panels or carousels, whatever you want to call it, and you'll find materials that you might enjoy. It's really easy, and once the kids get to grips with it, they're A for away. It's a safe environment. It's an ad-free platform as well. So children cannot, once they are on the platform, navigate outside of it. So they can't click on a link and end up on questionable sites that are out there. So it's very safe in terms of that. Obviously, the content that is on offer is child-friendly. It's library resources. So it'll touch on difficult topics such as substance abuse, the war on terror, for example, but there's nothing with gratuitous violence or of a sexually explicit nature. Yes, there are topics such as the human body, which will cover content such as puberty, but you are able to manage the process as the parents or the facilitators or the teachers, in terms of what you want your child to see. We do not prescribe, so we don't say you can only, if you're a grade 1, you only read this, grade 2 only that. We do not prescribe. It's not a textbook oriented site. It's an exploration site. We want children to explore the world of books and enjoy themselves. And in terms of back to that habit on the 5 minutes that we are saying, using 5 minutes because that's just a semi-round figure, is if you don't have a reading habit, how do you develop it? Lead kids to the site and let them explore. Ask them just for 5 minutes of their time, because parents have often said to us, in this day and age, especially with COVID, digital access has accelerated exponentially. Our children are spending 5 hours a day on technology. Now you want them to read books online. It's just making it worse and worse. Shock news, it's not going to change. This is the way of the world, and digital technology is very much a part of it, but it's how we use it constructively. And what we are saying to parents and to schools and to teachers out there is, your child is spending a lot of time on social media, on gaming, on watching movies, listening to music, whatever, creating TikTok videos. That's not really going to change. What we are saying is, if they are online 1 to 5 hours a day, ask them to take the first 5 minutes and just read a book. They don't have to finish the book, but just start reading. Just ask them for 5 minutes a day, and then they can carry on with their day as per normal. That is going to help develop a reading habit amongst ourselves. And as that empirical research suggests, once the child becomes a reader, they are able to explore and navigate the world of books, find content that is interesting to them. They will grow their general knowledge. They will become more articulate. They will expand their vocabulary, and they'll become a more confident individual. And a confident child is one who's going to ask questions in class in order to get answers to help them on the right path. And that's all we're saying. Is it really is simple, folks. In order to get our children reading, it is sad that in this day and age, after all of these decades, that we don't seem to be making any progress in the education spectrum. And there's so much work being done. There are so many NGOs with great facilitators who are trying to do work, but they need the content. And we are content service providers. So when we collaborate and collectively work together, we will be able to make a difference. But we need it from the higher powers, the highest powers, to actually invest in these sort of initiatives, to make the content available, to enable facilitators to do their jobs, to get it to the end user. That is all I have to share. I've got a lot more to share, but you're welcome to go to the website Qualibooks.co.za. Have a look at some of the testimonials on our homepage from participating entities. Have a look at our video library. There's a lot of videos that we've done in the last 2 years, interviews with schools and the like, corporates even. See what it is that we're up to and what the power of digital really is about. This extends beyond the traditional realm. We can make everybody, or grant everyone the opportunity to become a reader. Not everyone is going to be, but we need to give them the opportunity, and that will be a great way going forward and help this country to help itself, because our future depends on today's children, and it's our job as the adults of today to make it happen. It's our responsibility, it's our watch. We have to enable our children today in order to secure their future tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time. I trust this has been meaningful, and you're welcome to reach out to us at any stage for more, and let's see how we can collaborate and work together. We want to help make a difference in the lives of our children and leave a legacy, a healthy legacy behind that will empower our children for the future. Thank you very much.